Welcome back. Welcome back. It is the final segment of the show. We usually do the WTF, What the Facts, right here, where Frankie corrects any mistakes I've made in today's show. But as it stands right now, Frank's not here, so I guess I didn't make any mistakes today. But still, lots to cover. We're still following very closely our top story today. Roger Stone, Trump ally and confidant, early part of the campaign, sentenced in federal court in D.C. By Judge Amy Berman Jackson to 40 months in prison, 2 years probation, $20,000 fine, and also threw in 250 hours of community service. So we'll keep you up to speed on that. I was wondering why the president was staying silent, but he has weighed in a little bit. I expect some more, but he tweeted this. They say Roger Stone lied to Congress at CNN. Oh, I see. But so did Comey. And he also leaked classified information, for which almost everyone, other than crooked Hillary Clinton, goes to jail for a long time. And so did Andy McCabe, who also lied to the FBI. Fairness, all caps, question mark. I don't know. It sounds like the president doesn't think that justice has been meted out fairly here. He's under some serious attack these last few days for some of his recent pardons and sentence commutations. He, as you know, earlier this week, pardoned Bernie Kerik, who had served some time on a trumped-up charge with some really, really bad federal government cooperators. One of the main cooperators actually was just arrested for running a sex cult or something. Larry Ray was the main guy who put Bernie Kerik in jail. Trump did what was right and made Bernie great again. He was pardoned. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, 7 or 8 years into a 14-year sentence. The president also commuted the balance of his sentence, which sprung him from jail right away. And he's out on the media circuit. We're trying to get our hands on him right here on Liquid Lunch. But, you know, he said it pretty good. He said, you know, I'm a Democrat, and there's no political reason for the president to do what he did for me other than kindness. And, you know, Rod Blagojevich said maybe this is the first step in people seeing that there can be unity when you have a Republican polarized president pardoning a former Democrat governor. So we'll see how all that shakes out. And, you know, furthermore, I talked about it yesterday also, but when we talk about how evil the left says Trump is for pardoning his friends and stuff like that, Rod Blagojevich was on The Apprentice. You know, Donald Trump's given out, I think, 29 pardons and sentence commutations since he's been in office 3 years. And in 8 years, Barack Obama gave out 1,200 pardons, over 700 sentence commutations. Almost 2,000 people were freed from jail, released from their sentence. One in particular that continues to bother me, we had Joe Connor on the show. Joe Connor, his dad was killed in a bombing right here in New York City, which was pulled off by one Oscar Lopez with this Puerto Rican freedom fighter group, the FALN. This terrorist group took responsibility for over 120 bombings at federal buildings and other places, murdered, you know, countless numbers of people, injured, maimed, and otherwise. And they're yelling at Trump about some white-collar people, Eddie DiBartolo and Bernard Kerik, nonviolent criminals, mostly process crimes and stuff. Barack Obama took a terrorist who killed Americans. He bombed took responsibility for 120 bombings. Barack Obama let that guy, the murderer of friend of Liquid Lunch, Joe Connor's dad, Barack Obama put him right back out on the street. And think about that when you're making your case at your little dinner party with all your liberal friends. Donald Trump let out some guys on political crimes and process crimes at this point. Maybe some people in the past he's let out who were unfairly incarcerated with the First Step Act. And that was a very, very, very positive Super Bowl ad that the president used. And, you know, we had Antoine Tucker on here a little earlier. He's a minority kid from the Bronx, He was a gangbanger. He was a street thug at his own admission. He went in jail. He rehabilitated himself. And he says that when they're reporting what Donald Trump's favorability numbers are in the African American community, they're way off. Could be upwards of 30%, which would blow out all norms. And then when you got Mike Bloomberg right now charging up the racetrack as the leading contender with all the stuff he said about minorities and his stop and frisk policies, putting in 1 year about 600,000 minorities stop and frisked based on, technically their color. The Democrats may have a real African-American problem, and you got to stay right there for National Report. Bob Sells and Allison Maloney are going to take you through the next few hours, and Newsmax will always keep you up to speed on real talk with real people. Tomorrow, Liquid Lunch will be right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. More Liquid Lunch.